it is related to my father.
I see them being a strong contender for winning the competition in 2-3 years.
I try to focus on every game to show Berlin that I'm the guy now they need. So yeah, it worked really good for me.
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Ooh, into the net.
She does it again. Yes.
And Magdeburg are the champions of Europe. To come up with something here. She has a game. Surprise the keeper. What a comeback!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk handball again, and it is quarterfinals time, but we will get to that in a second because it's 25 degrees in Germany, and I did have to go and check on him. He's not at the beach yet, but he will be there shortly. I'm sure about that. Martin Vilstrup, how's it going?
I'm actually super great. Good to be back with you guys. I'm not much. I don't know if I have to admit it, but in some way I kind of missed you guys. You know, being here talking with you. But I don't know if I'm getting in a good mood because we are starting to have some sun here in Denmark. So all in all, I'm good. Thank you.
That sounds good. That sounds good. I like the quote of Martin Starton. Yeah, I'm super great. I think I want to get that tattooed on my forearm. I am super great. But that's something different. Let's look over to the man who needs a winter jacket whenever the temperatures drop below 20 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, Victor Thomas, how are you?
Hello, guys. All good. All good here. Actually, I think it's warmer in Germany today than here in Barcelona, but it won't be for long.
Oh, well, but I take it. It is a special episode today, not just because it's warmer in Germany than in Spain, but because we invited two guests here today. And the first one, we're talking about the clearest of all playoff matchups. There was no surprise for Magdeburg, actually, against Dynamo. A very mature appearance from Magdeburg. How do you rate their game, Victor?
Yeah, I think Magdeburg might be in one of the best moments of the season for them after struggling a lot, both in Champions League and in Bundesliga because of the injuries. They had a lot of injuries. I think that at the worst moment, some players that they were not playing that much before, they showed to Bennett that they can do the job, and they won some very important games. Especially, I think the one in Poland, they won against Kielce, and then they won in Bundesliga against Melsungen, and then I think they started to recover some players, Alvin Lagergren first, and then Christiansson again. So I think that Magdeburg arrived to these quarterfinals arguably in the best moment for them of the season.
Yeah, and those are the topics that we want to talk about with the guy that had a chill game last week because his colleague took over, but the week before he had a crucial appearance with 11 saves in the Machineseeker EHF Champions League and secured the spot for Magdeburg. In the quarterfinal, he is Switzerland's number 16 and Magdeburg's number 80. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Nikola Portner. How's it going?
Oh, good. Like I told you offset, I just came back from practice a couple of minutes ago and feel a bit tired. It was a good one. So yeah, after one day off, now starting to prepare the game against Leipzig this weekend. It will be a tough one, especially away. So yeah.
Yeah, and now that I started the talks here with your jersey numbers, I was a little confused by that, actually. What's the story behind it? Why 16 and 80?
Actually, it's quite easy. It's related to my father. When he was playing, he had number 8. And when I was in the youth, it was just like, by being his son, it's just 8 plus 8. So I took 16, and my father is also it's a huge coincidence, but also my father was born on the 16th of January, and my sister was playing volleyball also a bit, and she was also carrying that number 16. And for the 80, it's also related a bit to that. Like, I took over the 8 from my father. And actually, I took the 0 as a reminder to myself that every game starts from zero, and I have to earn it.
That's nice to actually have an explanation, because sometimes it's pretty random for people why they end up having one, but behind yours there's actually a reason for it. Uh,
Yeah.
I had prepared another question, but before that, we kind of have a thing here also that we have a tendency to hear in the different kind of clubs who has the worst kind of football player. And you said you just came from a practice. I assume you had football at warm up since you won the last game also. And I need this kind of information.
I think the worst one is Cerda. I think Antonio Serradilla. I think even though he's Spanish, even though they have a fantastic football tradition, maybe the best team in the world right now, but yeah, he's really bad.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Surprised
I'm
me a little
German,
bit.
and since last summer, I know that they can't play football. They're just good at handball.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And we're gonna leave it with that, Bengt. We're gonna leave it that. But because I kind of actually wanted to speak with you about the game about against Dinamo. Also, you won in
Yeah.
the Champions League. Can you give us some few words on your take on that and how it was? Because from my side, you felt very comfortable playing in Germany, coming from Romania with a solid result.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think more or less both games were quite identical. More or less, we have a tremendous start in both games,
Yeah.
and in the first half in Bucharest, at one point of time we were leading, I think, even by 8 goals or something like that. And they surprised us with 5+1 or 4-2 defense, and they started like to catch up, but we still like maintained the result, and we won with 4 at the end, which was, in my opinion, a good result. Still knowing that you're coming back home, and 2 days ago, same story more or less, but in front of our fans, they gave us a bit like more energy, so we could push it even to a 10-goal lead at the half. And afterwards we could do some rotations, give some players a couple of minutes, and I think it was a solid victory at the end. We played really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, to say it was a solid victory is maybe even an understatement, but that's super interesting because you guys actually won only half of your group stage matches. It was 7 out of 14.
Yeah.
But then you went over to having the biggest aggregate in all of the playoff matchups with +10 against Bucharesti. Are Magdeburg actually just trying to peak at the right moment, or what is missing to stabilize your Champions League performances?
Well, I think the whole season is a kind of strange for us. It's tough to explain. It's just the atmosphere,
Injuries?
yeah, exactly, a bit of that. We had a lot of players. I think that this whole Olympic cyclus, boosted our energy in a negative way, I would say. Having players coming back with some injuries and problems, and it's like kind of rotating, and we can't like go out of it. If I don't know, if Felix Klar is injured, Gisli's playing good, but when Felix comes back, Gisli gets injured. And when I don't know, we had problems. We had both right wingers injured. Isak was playing. He was playing also fantastically. When the guys came back, then Isak got injured. So it's just like we were making fun one time in practice. Okay, just guys. Just stay healthy, and because it doesn't make sense. At the one point of time, we had the feeling that every second or third day we were one guy less. And I think we had one game in Nantes where we played with three back court players, I think, with Albin, Manu Zender, and Gisli, I think. And that's it. All the other guys were injured. It's a season like that, but I think that we are actually doing really well, knowing the circumstances, and I think it's how to say, it's April. 3 months left, and we are completely in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League. Unfortunately, we lost to Kiel in the cup. They make it to the final four, but it is how it is. So yeah, that's what I like the most about us and about this organization is that doesn't matter the circumstances, but we have heart, and we fight, and we just trying to push as much as we can, and to reach our goals.
The thing is also when somebody goes out, another person have a tendency to step up. And I also said in an early episode, I'm pretty impressed by the level Matthias Musch also have showed, not only in the wing, but he's also doing some jobs in the defense now, also, covering on the back
Yeah.
position. And maybe that's also because if you had so many injuries, you have to kind of shake it up a little bit, find alternatives to how you want to solve it in the defense and also offensively. But let's maybe head over to also that now you won against Dynamo, and there's also, a game coming up against Veszprém, which you have played against a couple of times. If I remember correctly, the last 5 times you won 2, drew 2, and only lost 1. But how do you see this matchup against, yourselves? It's a very good team. Veszprém, we know also they're a very, very strong team.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I think, 2 huge matches. Everything is open. I don't think that there's a clear favorite in this one, in my opinion. Anything can happen. I mean, in both ways. It's gonna be quite interesting. We will try to prepare and do as best as we can to try to go to Cologne. I mean, it's crazy to think about, but it's just you're 2 games away from Cologne, and it's a big objective for us, big objective for them. So I think for the fans and for the handball lovers, it will be quite interesting to watch those 2 matchups.
And actually, what's the outlook like? So, are you guys recovering in time for that quarterfinal matchup? And what's the stat of your injured players like?
Well, right now, I mean, everyone knows with Oscar Bergendahl and Manuel Zenda that unfortunately those guys are out for the season. And we need to get Christian O'Sullivan back. He's recovering from his knee. I think it's day-to-day situation. He's doing better. He had his surgery a couple of weeks ago, so we'll see how he will recover. But I hope that we will get him as fast as possible.
Fair enough. Then let's look a little bit at that matchup against Veszprém. So, what can we expect from the quarterfinal, and what will be the factors to decide that tie?
That's a big question. If I would like to answer that, so
Not going
something
easy on you.
could guide me to the to the win. But I think it's not gonna be not a lot of a tactical thing in my opinion. Small details, of course. I hope that as a goalkeeper, of course, I hope that we will play strong defense and then try to score easy goals. I think that's also the handball that we play. We will try to defend hard and get the ball fast on the other side and try to run also. If we could, we have to look at ourselves and try to, like we did against the Dynamo, what we said also, especially in the by preparing the second match, that it's on us and we have to perform the way we want. And if we do that, then it will be tough to beat us.
We kind of also spoke about, and especially when you said yourself also playing at home is always nice with the supporters. Do you have a preference when it comes to this? Do you prefer to have the first game at home, or do you prefer, for example, you were in Dynamo and had a great result, and then you can come back to Germany, and then you have a solid base in Magdeburg, and you're always performing, and it's not often that you do not end up with a good result in Magdeburg at home field?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting topic. Also, how to say, if you really globally look at it, with the strength and the quality of both teams, I don't think that it's a huge difference. I mean, you saw Paris and Szeged yesterday. I think the best example. But I have to say that it's still an amazing feeling that if you played the first game away, you get a good result, you still have a bit of more confidence going into that second game,
Yeah.
knowing that you're playing home for sure. I mean, yeah.
But and then also actually I was looking at the games and then thinking about when I look at the Bundesliga, how is the situation with you and Sergey? Is it like earlier I saw, like, let's say the Spanish national team, sometimes Corrales have a game, sometimes the Vargas have a game. How is it between you and him? Is it an agreement that you and him have, or is it kind of the feeling for the opponent who you're playing against, who's gonna start the game, or is it the decision
No,
somewhere else?
it's something in between of that. I mean, the coaches decide, but they still like the side of the feeling of yeah, who can like match maybe better the opponent and stuff like that. But I think it's a good thing that we have this in the team. I think that handball today, if you want to be successful, at least like go high and aim titles. In my opinion, doesn't matter if it's in the French league or Bundesliga, Champions League. You need to have two stronger goalkeepers, and I think that how to say, it's good that with Sergey we can manage to give enough confidence to our staff to say, like, you have both goalkeepers which are in a good shape, playing good, and so it opens also. Yeah, it gives you a bigger, how to say, repertoire
Yeah.
to juggle with this situation, and also it can get tricky for the opponent because it's possible when they prepare they don't know who's going to start and who's going to play. But yeah, I think it's a great situation that in my opinion you always have to have two good goalkeepers, and two goalkeepers, especially two goalkeepers in shape.
Yeah, and I mean, aiming for titles is not just a topic for you, but in general for Magdeburg as well, as they have been or you guys have been super successful in the recent years. But especially right now that you're in the quarterfinal of the Machineseeker EHF Champions League, you guys are lacking a couple of games in the Bundesliga, but are still in the race for the title. How do you set the focus?
Well, I think I'm gonna talk for like my personal perspective. When I came to the Bundesliga 3 years ago, I was like thinking of when you look at the schedule and you see that you have like 60 games the whole season. If everything goes good, then you will get sick quite fast. And I think that actually to get the focus and to aim, like yeah, also me personally helps me to perform, is just really living day by day, practice by practice. And okay, now the next focus, the next game is Leipzig, and I just think about Leipzig and nothing else. I know something. I know back in my head that next Thursday we're playing Erlangen at home, but I don't think about. I don't think what's gonna be on Monday. I don't think. I just think about Leipzig. I think about yeah, how I'll prepare the video, the shots. I'm thinking about the atmosphere there in the hall. Trying like just I just have that in my head, and really nothing else. And that me personally helps me really yeah, I think if you aim and if you target a lot of stuff at the same time, then it can be really, really difficult quite fast.
Yeah, fair enough. I do see that. I mean, I personally don't think what I'm doing, don't think about what I'm doing on Monday either, but that's for different reasons, I guess. But yeah, then maybe let's let you think about some other topics here, because we want to talk a little bit about yourself and your personal career too. And I want to know how important was your father Zlatko Portner for you? I mean, he did achieve quite a lot in his career. 86 world title, 88 Olympic medalist. But as a center back, so was that ever an option for you, and how important was it that?
Yeah, I mean, playing for me was never an option. Uh, the story is actually quite simple. We went like outside one day, and he was like, "Okay, you the younger one, just go in goal, and I'll shoot." And
Okay.
my father has like those, I'm saying, Balkan genes of when competition is uh, like starting. So there's nothing, no gifts, nothing, and he was just killing me. And I made him, like I was like 5, 6 years old, and I made him the promise. I said, okay, now you're having your time, but I will come, I will train. And it stayed like that. And yeah, we had quite fun because it the balance switched one day, because one day, like when I was 15, he was my coach in the second Swiss league. He was having, of course, back problems and shoulder problems and all that kind of stuff, what retired handball players have, and he couldn't score. And so yeah, I was happy about that.
So it
Yeah.
was never an option for you whenever you had too many injuries in Magdeburg to tell Vigert, hey, I have some genes in me that are also capable of playing the center back.
I told him I'm still waiting. I told him I'm still waiting for my chance. I'm still waiting for my chance. So
And
yeah, yeah,
it should have been this year. It should have been this year with all the injuries, I think.
yeah. I have to, yeah. Maybe I have to be better in practice. Maybe show myself a bit more. But I'm not gonna give up. It's
Of
like
course not.
Magnus Saugstrup's dream of playing backcourt. So
Exactly.
yeah,
I guess he
yeah,
already
yeah.
told you that former in his career he used to be a backcourt player and he can still do it.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
you heard it.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, but I told him, for me, that's not a compliment. If you're a backcourt player and you end up as a pivot, there's something went wrong. So,
Has
Yeah,
to
fair enough.
but
agree.
he can do a lot of stuff. He has
Yeah,
great handball IQ
yeah,
and great court vision, and he could do
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
fair enough. Let's look a little bit about at your path here, because the locations where you played in, it stood out for me that you went back to France, because you were born there. You were born in Lyon,
Yeah.
and then moved over when you were, I think, only 8 months old. So not too much of your decision going going to Switzerland.
Yeah.
But then in 2016, you went to France, to Montpellier. Was there a bit of a connection between you and France already? How did it feel to transfer to France?
Well, I think it's I don't know. It just came like that. I'm not saying that something happened more or less. I always had, my dream was always to play for a big club and play the Champions League and win the Champions League also. That was like always, and I've never had like uh, the how say I was not like wanting absolutely to play in the French league or absolutely wanting just to play in the Bundesliga. For me, it's more a club stuff since the youth. And yeah, when Montpellier knocked at the door, I was in Schaffhausen, and it came quite fast because I went to Schaffhausen in July 2014, and already December 2014, yeah, 6 months after that, yeah, the first contact with Montpellier came. And yeah, that project was just simply amazing. And for me, the idea of learning and playing with Vincent Gérard at that time, and being just for me imagining the idea that I will be in the same locker room as Mikhail Guigou or Vit Kaptichnik, just okay, just tell me where to sign and I'm coming.
And it was quite successful, eh?
Yeah, it was not bad. It was not bad.
Yeah, because we also, I also saw at the career you had, you have been in the countries where you actually spoke. I assume you're also capable of speaking French since you were born there and you played there
Yeah.
for many years, and you're from Switzerland. So, and also you won a lot of titles. But a question I actually want to ask you before we kind of end the interview is also, we spoke a lot about atmosphere. So you played in different countries in a lot of arenas, also Super Globe, Champions League. Is there an arena that comes to your mind? And you're not allowed to say Magdeburg, your own arena, because obviously it's amazing. But the craziest atmosphere you have played in yourself or experienced at some point in your career?
Yes, yes, yes. Do I have to say one, or can I
You
give
can
a
give us
few?
your
two
top
if you
three.
want to.
You can give us your top three.
Yeah.
I mean, Veszprem is one of them for sure. I remember when we with Montpellier, when we played 2017, we played the 8 finals against Kielce. The atmosphere was insane, insane. I mean, the fans were just standing the whole game because we've won the first leg with 5 goals in Montpellier, and Kielce, they were the title holders of the Champions League that time, and we won that game too. And but for me, that I mean, we couldn't hear ourselves like while playing. That was insane, really, and I'm like really honored that I was part of such like that. Uh, but and one thing that people used to forget, I'm happy you said that. Vardar, Skopje,
Yeah,
Janez
of course.
Sandanski, insane, insane. You cannot imagine. Really, it's if they need to win and that atmosphere and
Yeah.
just that is. I also like that when it goes a bit
Yeah, I know,
above the
not
legal,
over the
if you
line.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I like that personally a bit because it gives you like it gives you that feeling. It's more than than just a game, and I respect that always from home fans. So again, when you when you're playing, when you're on the field, and you're part of something like this, it's just a fantastic feeling. Even though even you even if you know everyone is against you, but yeah, I think in the Champions League, if because I'm not allowed to say Magdeburg, but here it's also tough. Believe me.
Sounds like a man
Yeah.
who surely enjoys his away trips. And one of those arenas that you actually just mentioned will be visited by you once again in just a bit, where we wish you the best of luck for everything that's coming up and for the tasks that are left in the Bundesliga. So thanks for your time and good luck for the rest of your season.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was fun, and thanks for the invitation. My pleasure. Thanks.
Awesome guy, awesome talks here with Nikola Portner. And I like that question that you put up at the end, Martin, the toughest arena that he played in. Victor, how is it for you? What was the toughest arena that you played away?
In terms of atmosphere, I think it's Vardar and in Skopje. And in terms of losing games, no doubt it's Ciudad Real.
Yeah,
Quijote
fair
Arena.
enough. Nikola actually didn't talk about Ciudad Real as you might think about it.
I'm old, but I don't want to brag about it, but it's the only arena away from Barcelona that I never won a game.
Oh, wow. That's
Okay.
quite something. But actually, Victor didn't listen to the talk with Nikola yet, but he went for Vardar as well. So Vardar as one of the most intense away games here. But let's stay a little bit with Magdeburg here, because Martin, what is your read? Is Magdeburg finally ready for the decisive phase of the season?
They look ready, especially when I look at them in the Champions League and also the Bundesliga. They seem to have found themselves, and also, as I said earlier, Felix Klar for me is a key player for them. And I also said with Matthias Musche, not only do he has a beautiful beard, but he also delivers on the wing and helps in defense. I think in general they're starting to find themselves also with Saragilia in defense, and also from what we heard from Portner, O'Sullivan is maybe also coming back very soon, and that will strengthen the defense even more. That they have more opportunities also back then. So they're looking stronger and stronger, but a matchup against Veszprem, you can be super strong and still not make it. So that's a tough matchup.
Absolutely, and we are going to talk about the quarterfinal matchups in depth next week or next episode a little more. But apart from that, how are the roles distributed in that quarterfinal matchup between Veszprem and Magdeburg, Victor?
I would say 50-50.
50-50. No clear favorites for you?
No, because I feel that Magdeburg is arriving in a good moment. Veszprem was the best team of the group. I don't remember if it was A or B, but yeah, it was the best by far. But I feel that if there was a team that Veszprem didn't want to play against a matchup, it was Magdeburg.
Yeah.
It is also a difficult matchup, with all the fast players they have. And some teams it doesn't fit, and always going 1-1 with Gisli, Klar, Omar, Lagergren, all these kind of players. It's not nice to play against.
Yeah, fair enough. But we do have some more, quarterfinalists to have a look at, and a couple of playoff matchups to analyze here. And I want to head over to Nantes against Plotzk, because I feel like both games were completely differently, and both games were clear in the end. Eventually, the matchup did end up getting close too. So Plotzk won the first leg with 28-25. But then came the away match, and Nantes, all of a sudden, they led by 9 at halftime. So it was a 17-8 for halftime already. And out of Plotzk perspective, how can that happen in the most important matchup of all season, Martin?
Well, I actually been writing down one word, and that's this Nantes home ground. I think it's crazy in some way, I never got the chance to play there, but whenever you see the games, there's always some kind of horns or atmosphere is going on. I think Nantes feels super comfortable at home, and this is a Nantes team that have a couple of injuries and key players being out. And when I saw the game in Plotch, then I was thinking about, okay, my prediction with Plotch, it doesn't look that bad. And then I see the game in Nantes and they're leading with 9, and it was like, I'm surprised that it was that big, but still, Nantes at home, they just have a tendency sometimes when they perform at the top level, they are a contender, and I wouldn't say an outsider, but yeah, it's crazy. That's the word I've been writing down when I saw the games.
Crazy.
And then I just have to be fair, the big comment with Dinamo also and Nantes, I like sold out arenas in general. That looks amazing. But yeah.
I think that we have to recognize the importance for Nantes to win this matchup, because they will get Aymeric Min back for the quarterfinals. Probably, I don't know if it will be at 100%, but they will get him back. That's for sure. A player like him has to be back, and for them to go through this matchup against Plotzk was crucial, I think, after a defeat in the French league against Istres it was very, very important. And now I think they are a dangerous team.
Yeah, most definitely. On the other hand, we do need to point out the comeback qualities from Plots K2, because they did even manage to close the gap to 1 goal on aggregate, and it was quite an impressive run that they had in the second half. Still, it wasn't enough, so Nantes did end the game in style, and it was a 29-24. But still, what do you expect, Martin, from Plotsk in the upcoming years?
Oh, what do I expect in terms of what they're getting in? And we see them kind of getting players in, and they also probably some players are gonna leave. It's always difficult with the situation in Plots, but I still see them as in the position where they are at the moment. I feel like that's where they also will be in the future. I don't see them taking it a step further. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, then I'm happy to admit it. But as I see it now, with the quality they have and whatever is coming in, then I think that's around the level they have. Sometimes they can have the capacity. We saw it last year against Nantes, where they won against them in penalties to go through. But I don't see them, taking a step up in terms of I think the strengths of the other teams are too big.
It looks like someone in this call has a different opinion.
Yes. I see them being a strong contender for winning the competition in 2-3 years.
Okay, why is that?
Because I think they will have the financial power to do a great team and a great project. They showed it signing Melvin Richardson from Barcelona, leaving Barcelona, going to Plock. Torbjörn Bergerud, which is a matter of taste, if you like it more or less than the goalkeepers that they have at this moment, but they signed him as a number 1. And I think they will have the financial power to sign another 2-3 top players in the world in the next 2-3 years. Plus, the young players that they have will develop even more than they are at this moment.
Yeah, and I mean, financial strength in the last years, it has shown us that is always guaranteed for winning Champions League titles, right?
No, it's not. But I didn't say they will win. No, I said I see them as a strong contenders to win the trophy.
I was just looking for a bridge to build over to Paris, because the financial power that they put into the squad yet again left them out of the quarterfinals, or what means yet again, it is the first quarterfinal that they're missing since 2013, but still, PSG is out. One of us predicted that. I don't want to point out who that was, but Martin, what do you think? What does it mean for PSG to not be playing the quarterfinals?
As you said yourself, if I remember correctly, it's the first time ever that Paris went out so early off the stage. So I actually think I'm shocked about that one. I actually think in some way it's a little bit of a disaster. Whenever you look at the first game in Szeged, I think they were feeling pretty comfortable. They were leading, and then in the end, Szeged kind of narrowed it down. And Makovsek, he scored on a free throw after time, so they only won with 1. But when I saw the game yesterday, with the tough start, I only think Szeged scored kind of 8 goals in the first around 20 minutes. But after that, they kind of just scored every time they wanted to. And the only player for me, whenever I looked at someone who was believed in it, it was kind of Luke Steins. He tried, to cheer everyone up. But I cannot remember. I tried yesterday when I saw it to think about a loss in Paris with 10 goals the last time they did it. I don't know if it's the biggest loss ever also, but I actually, maybe it's a big word, but I kind of feel like it's a disaster for them, winning away, coming home to Paris, and then not being able to win against Pick Szeged.
Yeah, it's intense that PSG actually didn't make it, but especially looking at the first leg and at the second leg, we saw 2 complete different games. PSG won by 1, but Victor, what do you think? What learnings did Szeged actually pull out of that matchup? Was taking Shipshak out of the game one of the keys to success? Was it the key to success?
I don't know. Probably it was one of the things that happened there that made the face off between both teams go for Szeged. But I think that something happened in that team. I don't know, that week or in the locker room at some moment. I don't know, because it's very strange. The lack of soul, the lack of character, in a 8 finals in Champions League, playing home, and you are getting defeated this way. And as you said, guys, it was only Luke Steins, the one who looked like he cared about it. But I know that all players care about it, but something is happening there, and it's very, very strange that a team with these players and this organization lose a game like that by this difference of goals.
A lack of soul in Paris. Martin, your opinion on that?
Well, when I saw it as well, I kind of missed the attitude from the other players, not the other players, just the team in general. Well, they had a couple of misses from the left wing. Let's be honest, the Krebil, he's out with an injury. That's tough for them also. And the young guy who went on to the wing, was it Peleka, if I remember correctly?
But
yeah, he missed a couple of times. A shout out for his performance in general. If you have something to add, then Victor. But it's just, if I have to also take the positive notes on it, then I also have to give a shout out to Mikla, 40 years old, experienced goalkeeper coming in, having around 15 saves in this game. He even had time to mop the floor at some point, so Szeged was a kind of different attitude, obviously, because they were on a run and it was going good. But when I looked at the Paris players, it didn't look like they believed in it. And if I get that feeling, then maybe I have the wrong feeling. But it certainly didn't look like they, was like, okay, we can make it 6 goals behind. Let's 2-minute suspension, 2 goals, quick up, then put pressure on them. We are home in Paris. It should be, even the fans were still singing and shouting. So, they had everything in the pocket. But obviously, they will be the most disappointed today of everyone.
If we look at the game of Nantes Plotzk and the game of Paris Szeged, Plotzk, they were losing by 10, but they looked different. They looked that they never stopped fighting. They never stopped thinking, why not? Let's try it. Yeah. And I didn't have that feeling in the game between Paris and Szeged.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, Martin, you pointed him out already, that Roland Mikler was a huge part there. Who stood out for me as well was Ben Sebanidi. So him at the line is just disgusting to defend. Or Martin, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, he is. Sometimes you see the replays and there's 3 guys to stop him. I've been writing down how many people does it take to stop Benidi whenever he gets the ball. I think the 3 of us would be able to do it. But besides that, I don't.
One of us doesn't bring the physical capacities.
No, I mean, these are the kind of line players.
Me.
No, but I mean, whenever a line player with the size of Benidi, then you often kind of speak of them before. Whenever they get the ball, do you want to give them a free shot? Because Benidi is technical. His percentage of a free shot is that bigger than potentially giving him another opportunity and having them a penalty. But yeah, he's a big guy, and also Paris had it as well. I was also Subshak. He missed a penalty at some point where I also felt like, okay, there are some turning points in the games where it's kind of, okay, if you score on this one, you had a 2-minute suspension and score on this one. But it takes a lot of guys to stop Benidi, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is true.
Or just me and Victor.
Well, I would love to see the two of you defending against Spencer Banini, but that's for some other reasons here too. But yeah, anyway, Kielce is actually not the only PSG is not the only big name missing in the quarterfinals, because if we're looking over at the last playoff matchup that we haven't talked about yet, Kielce against Füchse, Kielce fails to make it to Cologne yet again, and I am starting to wonder, since they failed again to make it to Cologne, is this squad still on level terms with the European elite of handball, Victor?
Yes, they are. But they are missing a goalkeeper. For me, it's it's as simple as that.
Fair enough. So,
No,
short
for me,
answer.
it's nothing more. Yeah, for me, it's nothing more to say. I think they are, and they didn't have a strong goalkeeper, and I think it's a fact. It's not an opinion. The numbers talk by themselves. So I think they are in a top level. But we all know how important is the goalkeeper in this beautiful sport.
Yeah, he's so important that they took him out ahead of the end of the game to even turn it around here. No, but it's actually you're absolutely right. But Kielce did go above and beyond to be able to turn the tie still around, and they did take a 4-goal lead in minute 55. So wasn't too many goals left for them to actually be making it back into the game. How do you rate their move to keep playing with this seventh player on the court? Because the Füchse did net twice in that time, Martin.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know. It's 7 against 6. We can say what we want to about the rule, but if you sometimes struggle to score 6 against 6, then you can change the rhythm of the game. And also with the amount of goals they scored in the first half, Füchse against Kielce 45, it was 24-21 in the second leg. But yeah, sometimes it goes well, you kind of score it. Sometimes you have to, keep the level of technical mistakes very, very low. If not, then often the ball ends up in your own goal. And yeah, I mean, you take some chances sometimes, and sometimes you succeed, sometimes you don't. With this 7 against 6, but I would say they have the players to play 7 against 6, and also the line players with Monar and Kaderlek also. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, on the other side, there was a strong Füchse Berlin too. We yet again a world-class performance by Gitzel, having scored 12 in the second leg, 15 in total in the playoffs. Füchse now up against Aalborg. Szeged gets Barca. Talking about Szeged because Mario Šoštarić is still the leader of the top scorer list in the Machineseeker EHF Champions League. Will it still be between these two to become the top scorer of the competition, or is Martin Costa actually making another move? Martin, what do you think?
Oh, Martin Costa, then he has to score, 20 something in order for him to well,
Maybe
it can happen,
still
maybe, but
4 games
I don't
left.
believe in it because Gitzel is also back, and if you have to have a look at those two players, then let's say Martin Costa scores 10 and Gitzel scores 8, then he only kind of, took 2 goals in on him, and it's the same with Šoštarić. But I also have to give a shout out to Lasse Andersson in these 2 games. I think he scored around 18 goals also, and especially in the first game, he was unstoppable, and yeah, Gitzel and Andersson now coming and up and facing Aalborg. That one, as a Danish guy, I'm looking forward to two top players. And Gitzel also just awarded best player in the world to play against the best team in Denmark. That is, for me, interesting matchup.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Victor, who do you see ahead between Füchse and Aalborg?
Oof, this one is tough. For me, again, I will say 50-50. I don't see any team ahead.
Exactly.
I predicted at the beginning of the season that Aalborg will win this competition. It would make sense that I say Aalborg 60-40, but honestly, I see the matchup 50-50.
All right, then for both your 50-50 calls, I am going to give you from now on 2 weeks' time, and I want to at least have a 51-49 tendency from you in the next episode. But until then, we have another guest waiting for us here, and he did have a tough matchup last Wednesday, but we are going to talk with him about that, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Freihöfer.
Thank you. Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah, nice to be here.
I was thinking about pronouncing your name in English, but hell no. I think that would be a little difficult task. How would you pronounce your name in English?
I either don't think it's possible, so just call it Freihöfer. That's the best.
Freihöfer.
Again, Victor?
Not bad, eh? Not bad for a Spanish guy.
Say again?
Freihöfer.
I think you're doing fine.
It's acceptable.
That's
It's
really
acceptable.
good. That's good. That's good.
Fair enough. But actually, it's good to hear that you're doing good, because we were a little worried when we were watching your game against Kielce last week. So you have been carried off the court. How was the situation from your perspective, and how's it going now?
Yeah, everything went really fast. I stepped on the foot from I don't know, I think concours or and yeah, I felt directly the pain, but yeah, it's okay. It's not perfect. I need to rest some days, but it's not that bad that we fought. So I think 1.5, 2 weeks, and then we'll see.
So there is no broken tendons then?
Nothing is ripped off or broken, so it's okay. It's just blue. It's a little bit painful, but yes.
That's good to hear.
Most definitely. So we are happy to hear that you are quite all right, and that you will be back for the important matches that are coming this season, because they are coming for you. It would have been unlucky because, especially this year, you're having an awesome season. It's almost like a breakout season in the Machineseeker EHF Champions League for you, having scored 52 times and being the third best scorer of Füchse Berlin right now. What makes you personally so strong this year?
Yeah, I had an amazing start in the Bundesliga season, and then I got a lot of self-confidence. The team trusts me, the coach trusts me, and yeah, then from game to game, it starts to become bigger and bigger. And yes, now it's what it is now, and I try to improve every week in the Champions League and in the Bundesliga, and try to do my best.
I think that's the key, you know, the body is always following the mind, and I think that the confidence the players have in themselves, it's super important. And I think, and in my career, in my case, I also had a little bit of luck. It was very unfortunate, but you were lucky because of another injury. We wish Jerry Tolbring the best and a good recovery, and that he can enjoy handball again next season. But you were lucky because of that, and you knew that the team needed you, and I think that gave you a lot of confidence. Is that right?
Yes, for sure. I wish nobody a bad injury like Gary has now. But yes, this was my opportunity to get more and more playtime in a good club, or a really, really good club in Europe. And yes, I try to focus on every game to show Berlin that I'm the guy now they need. So yeah, it worked really good for me.
When I look at you at the playing court, I see a very cool guy in terms of controlling your emotions. After Jerry injury, you knew that you had a lot of responsibility. Of course, Manuel was coming, but I think that the confidence was put it in you. How did you deal, and did you feel a lot of pressure?
Yes, I felt the pressure a lot in the beginning because I had like 3 or 4 games alone. I was the only left wing. I remember the bad game for me in Bucharest. I felt like I couldn't help the team with my bad emotions. My body language was really bad, and then I said to myself, now you have to work harder and be there for the team that needs you now more and more than ever, because you're the only guy now. But now I can handle this better.
What's running through your mind when Victor Thomas is calling you a cool guy?
Yeah, amazing. I never talked to Thomas again before, so it's nice to hear from a big legend of the Champions League that he thinks I'm a cool guy.
And rightly so, because you guys are playing actually in an awesome season so far and are completely deserved in the quarterfinals right now. Especially after Füchse have been away since 2013 from the biggest stage. How do you guys feel on the court? So how was that first game when Berlin stepped onto the Machineseeker EHF Champions League stage?
I think everyone wanted to enjoy it because we worked the season before really hard for the Champions League. There are only 2 spots in the Bundesliga. You have to work a whole season really hard. And I think we tried to enjoy in the beginning. We had a really hard game. The first game was at home against Veszprem. So nobody knew, are we good enough to beat them or are we not good enough to beat them? But we tried to beat everybody. And yes, now it's a long journey, and we want to make our way to the Final Four.
And I mean, it almost doesn't sound like you guys are mad that you had to go the extra way through the playoffs, because every Champions League match is hardly earned from your side. But still, it was only 1 point to actually not take you straight to the quarterfinals. What were your thoughts on that?
The first 4 was like, okay, now you're winning in Veszprem, and then you don't make it directly to the quarterfinals. But we missed our chances. We had the chances against Paris at home, against Veszprem at home, and in Sporting, in Bucharest. But we lost these games. That's also part of the sport. They're also really good, and yeah, then we had to do the extra round, and now it's finished.
Truly is. We did talk with Nikola Portner earlier today, and he talked with us about Kielce and the atmosphere in that arena. So we asked him what were the toughest arenas that he played in, and Kielce was actually one of them. Yet you went there and won by 6, actually. So how difficult is it to win in Poland?
Really difficult. Also, there's a great team. They have really good players, world-class players, a good coach. I talked a lot to Tobi Reichmann before, and he talked about the great atmosphere, the fans, and also the good team. But we were prepared. We knew that the atmosphere in Kielce are amazing, and their fans are really loud. They were also really loud in Berlin, but especially in Kielce, they're really loud. But we tried to be calm as possible, and yes.
And in that matchup, the last 6 minutes were super crucial for you. So Kielce actually managed to close down the gap, and it was super tight. You were trailing by 4, and Kielce actually only needed 2 goals to tie the game. So how was the atmosphere in that moment, and what were the keys for you to not lose it on the last meters?
I watched it from the changing room, but I think the team has a really good self-confidence this year. We won in Magdeburg, in Veszprem, we won in Kielce, and always in the tight moments, we always were there and put the game on our side. And yeah, we didn't lose the head in this moment. We had I think we had 1 save and 2 steals in the 7-against-6 from Kielce in the last 4 minutes, I think. Yeah, you have to do this in this tight game, and then you're lucky to beat them again. Or no, it was a draw. And we always believed, okay, we want to win this game. We don't want to lose with 3 goals or 4 goals. We always want to win the games, and then you have to play in the also in the bad times. You have to focus on the good things you played this season, and that's what we did.
Yeah, and now, quarterfinals will come. But before I ask you for the face off against Aalborg, I want you to explain me if you can put it in words, because I felt the same in my career or something similar. You come from the youth teams of Berlin, and I was visiting the club not long ago, and I saw the facilities that you have, and I saw that the youth teams are in the same facilities as the professional team, and I was very fascinated for the culture that Kretschmar explained me about. Everybody is the same. Everybody is has the same importance inside these facilities. It doesn't matter if Matthias Gitzel is coming in the massage room, that if a young player is in the bed, he has to wait, and how was it for you to make this step forward to the senior team, to the professional team, and now be one of the most important players in the roster at this moment? How is it, this mental transition for you? Was it easier because you came from the youth teams, or how was it?
Yes, it's a really good question. I think it's special if you come out of the youth of your childhood club or the club you played in the youth for and make it to the pros. It's really, really special. In the beginning, I think it was like I just played there. I was not really important. I get the chance. It's normal in Berlin that some young guys get the chance and improve themselves in the first team. But my goal was to be an important player in the first team. Sometimes they're coming young guys and they change after 2, 3 years because they are not good enough to be in one of the best teams in Europe. And I tried to work really, really hard, and was lucky also to have like 5 friends that I played with in the youth, uh, playing together now in the first team. They're giving me a lot of self-confidence. We're talking a lot about what was before in the youth and what is now, and we try to improve that. Also, the young guys out of the youth can be a really important player.
But would you say that this culture, it makes the young players easier to show themselves when they go to the pros, because they are not afraid of the pros, because they feel they are the same inside the playing facilities? Would you say that this culture that Berlin has in the trainings and in the training facilities, it's helping the young players to show themselves with the pros?
Yes, I think that's really important. I remember when I started in Berlin, I was going to the changing room of the youth, and Paul Drux was walking by and just talked to me. And that's like, as a young player, it's amazing if such a player is coming to you, a club legend, one of your idols, or a guy you look up to. It's really amazing. And then you think, okay, they're so humble, and they just play handball as you are. And if you really work hard, you can do it by yourself. And I also want to be like Paul, talking to the young players and show them it's possible to do it. And yes, I also have a lot of friends in the youth now, talking to them. If someone is injured, I try to talk to him. And yes, that's a really, really good culture. And
And I mean, you guys seem to be working hard for the past years already, because, well, if we're looking at the Bundesliga, there are the Füchse on top right now. So the chances are not bad. 10 games to go, I think it is. But yeah, how long have you been dreaming, especially since you're a youth player of Füchse Berlin? How long have you been dreaming of lifting that Bundesliga trophy with Füchse Berlin?
I think if you're playing for Füchse Berlin now, it's like a top team in Europe, and it's also like a goal of the team to win trophies. We won the EHF Cup in my first year. And then, yeah, we were also in my first and my second year, we were really good. Also to this time, we were second or third or first. But yeah, then we lost a little bit the focus and weren't good enough to finish the season at the top. We lost some important games in the end, and also I think this year we are much better. We have more self-confidence, and also we won the important away games. It gives a lot of self-confidence if you win in Magdeburg, you win in Kielce, you win in West Brom, then you have a big self-confidence to beat everyone.
And I mean, how big are the chances for you guys right now to stay up there? What's your opinion? What's your read?
If you're at the top, you want to be at the top at the end. It's 10 games to go in the 11 or 10 games to go in the Bundesliga. But yes, in Germany, everyone can beat everybody in the league. It's possible. You saw nobody thought that HSV can beat Melsung with 10 goals at home, and they did. So you have to watch out for everyone in the Bundesliga. But yes, we are staying humble. We want to work really hard every week and try to be at the top at the end.
Yeah, we'll see how that one will go, but it doesn't look too bad right now, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for you guys there. But yeah, then let's look over to the Machineseeker EHF Champions League again, because it's your first season there, and last year you have been part of the Füchse Berlin squad that has been playing the European League. What is the main difference in between playing the Machineseeker EHF Champions League and playing the EHF European League?
I think the quality of every team. In the European League, you have some teams you can beat more easily, I think, than in the Champions League, because the Champions League is a top level. There's no team you can beat easily. You have to work really hard every Wednesday or every Thursday to beat them. So yes, that's something different. Also, the atmosphere sometimes in the arenas, like Kielce, Veszprém, Paris, it's like crazy to play there. And yes,
Because I wanna know which match is it that stands out for you specifically this season in the Champions League?
This question is for, yeah.
Yeah, it's a difficult
Are
one.
you?
this
Are you? Are
question
you?
is
It's difficult, yeah. So many good games.
it's really hard for me. There are two games. I think the win in West Brom was amazing. I think nobody thought that we were beating West Brom at their home crowd, but we did. And also the game in Kielce, that we won with 6 goals in Kielce was amazing.
Yeah, understandable. And now coming up, Aalborg Handball, last year's finalist and one of the favorites for the title. What kind of matches are you expecting, and what will be decisive against Aalborg?
Yeah, I think the last 2 games against Kielce were more physical. I think now we are playing a little bit more tactical, also physical. But Aalborg looks for me also more tactical. They play really good. They have amazing goalkeepers, maybe the best goalkeeper that ever played. But yes, we try to win as possible in every game. But this 2 games will be really hard for us. But we try to go to Cologne.
Oh, then I have a difficult one for you in between when you had to think about that one already, the one before. Landin, Wolf, or Omaye?
It's really tough. I never played against Omaye.
You're missing some goalkeepers there, eh?
Yeah,
Arpad
a lot of them,
Stervik.
but actually just trying to give a short list.
It's tough. Right now, Andy is for me maybe the best of them. In the past, I think Landin was the best. For me, he's the best that ever played. I played against him 3 times. I played really bad against him. So for me, Wolf now is the one, Landin the second, and Omeyer the third.
I will also say something on this one. With all respect to everybody, and I would put also in this list to Arpad Stervik. All of them are amazing. All of them has been a nightmare for a lot of players, me included, and a lot of times. But if we have to say who is the best, the CV is talking, and in my opinion, the best CV it's for Omeyer.
Yeah, fair enough. But everybody has their own opinions on these kind of questions, and that's the beauty about it. But what is not an opinion question, but a fact question, is that your contract in Berlin is running through 28. And I was wondering, is there any ambition from your side to ever be playing for another club, to maybe even go abroad? Or is it Füchse Berlin all day and all night and just the love of your handball life?
For now, it's only Füchse. I didn't talk to any other club. For me, it was really clear I want to extend my contract here in Berlin. I didn't want to end the story here. And yes, I had really good talks with Gretsche and also with Bob Hanning. And yes, then we extended the contract for 3 more years.
Fair enough. And I mean, you already achieved big things with Füchse Berlin, individually as well, such as becoming a national team player for the German national team. And at first we need to ask, how was your debut? How did it feel?
Yes, it was amazing. The feeling to have to play for your own country was crazy. It was huge. I know it from the youth national team, how it feels, but to play in the senior national team is something different, something really big. And yes, from last season, I never dreamed to be there, and now it's not a dream, it's reality.
What are the plans and dreams for the German national team?
It's hard to say because it was my first time there to say I have a special goal. I just want to be there as often as possible. I think I played a really good second match, and yes, now it's on Alfred to look for me and watch out the other wings, what they are doing.
Cool. Victor, from winger to winger, just one last advice to give him for his further career?
Listening to him, I'm going to add to the cool guy that he's also smart, because you put him in some tricky questions here, and he just played the violin in a good way. And I think that this is the attitude, and be humble. Work a lot and keep doing what you're doing, because you are doing it very well.
Thank you.
Cool. And with these warm words, I think we can close down the podcast for today. So, Tim, at first, thank you. Thanks a lot for taking the time and being here with us today. And best of luck for the tasks that are upcoming against Aalborg, but as well in the Bundesliga. We wish you a speedy recovery, and that not just you are a smart guy, but that Alfred is a smart guy too, and gets you back into the national team. But at first, thanks for having been here.
Thank you for having me.
And with that being said, we hope that you guys enjoyed the episode, and we will hear each other again the next time when it's time to talk handball again.
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start.
Into the net.
She does it again. Yes.
And Magdeburg are the champions.